What are some of the main points of this Pentagon report?
Well, we obviously know by the military budgets that China is most definitely modernizing its military. And again, the assessment of the nuclear capabilities, this assessment is coming from the Pentagon in its annual report to Congress. And they are saying that that nuclear arsenal allegedly is growing at a much faster pace than previously believed. The Pentagon in this report is now saying that China could have as many, or at least 1,000 nuclear warheads by 2030. That's a faster pace than previously reported. Keep in mind, though, the United States has more than 3,700. What the missiles you're seeing here is in front of Beijing. Those are the Dongfang 21D, DF-21D. They're not necessarily nuclear capable, but these missiles are known to the Pentagon as the carrier killers. So China is definitely modernizing. And in this report, they also say it cites the alleged construction of at least 3 missile silo fields capable of containing hundreds of new ICBMs. And of course, as you mentioned, this report by the Pentagon comes on the heels of those reports that China over the summer conducted hypersonic weapons systems tests. Hypersonic weapons potentially could send missiles and warheads down south around the South Pole and avoid the Northern Hemisphere anti-missile systems of the United States. And it is something that General Mark Milley told Bloomberg Television last week in an interview that aired last week. That was potentially America's Sputnik moment if China was indeed advancing to hypersonic weapon systems.
Steve, we've mentioned that ramped-up rhetoric over Taiwan. There's been a flurry of sometimes worrying conversation happening. Are we seeing Beijing now sort of backtracking that a bit?
Not necessarily backtracking, but probably more clarifying, because again, when you stir the pot, a lot of aromas come up. And I'm not saying China's stirring the pot, both sides, the United States and China, as well as Taiwan, stirring the pot with the rhetoric a little bit. And there's been reports, of course, when state media has come out, and Ministry of Commerce, I believe it was encouraging mainlanders to stock up on household necessities and supplies. There was separate reports, unrelated messages claiming to show China as well was preparing to mobilize military reserves. Also, China's state broadcaster said Taiwanese themselves were hoarding their own survival supplies. Well, now state media is coming out because millions of posts, hundreds of millions of posts have been swamping Chinese social media networks, speculating that perhaps some sort of conflict was imminent. State media now urging the public not to overread a Ministry of Commerce statement encouraging families to stockpile. This is simply because of the supply chain concerns.